Again, we spent about 2.5, 3 hours on listening, contemplating, and thinking about the Dharma. And our body is within the Dharma by restraining it here. And our speech is controlled by not speaking except on the Dharma. And our mind is focused on the Dharma and listening to the Dharma. These 3 hours are wonderful, but we need to translate these 3 hours into the 21 hours left in the day. Just like the 45 minutes or half hour we do our sadhanas must be translated into 23 hours left in the day. If we don't translate it into those hours, then we've wasted so much time. The 23 hours in a day, that is besides our sadhanas and prayers and making offerings and prostrations and whatnot, we must make our actions dharma. So working for the Dharma doesn't make our actions dharma. In fact, working in the Dharma can be totally non-dharma if our motivation is easy life, not concern for others, not taking responsibility, and making others cover for us all the time and taking responsibility for us. Then it's not dharma work. Dharma work is not really the work. Dharma work is the attitude to benefit others. So, in the 23 hours of a day, every day, spend like this, as I showed you earlier in the chart. 21 hour in meditation a day for sadhanas and offerings, the 23 hours in samsara. The 23 hours is 564 hours in a month, 6,768 hours in a year. This one is much more important than this. This is 1 hour of practice a day, 1 hour of meditation sadhana a day. That equals 28 hours a month or 336 hours per year. This one and this one has a much more powerful effect. This is what you should focus on, not this one. We want our habits to change. We want our mind to transform. We want love. We want care. We want respect. We want things to improve. We have to focus on this. Why? If we add more time and effort towards something, we get the result. If we focus on this, we remain as we are. If we focus on this, we transform. Why? Very simple. More time towards something creates more result. So we have to think about that very, very carefully. Very, very carefully. So people ask, why don't they change? Because the 23 hours a day are wasted on gossip, selfish mind, sleep. And even the 23 hours a day, how many of us are attached to sleep? How many of us are attached to sleep? After so many years, still the mind didn't transform to push ourselves beyond sleep. Can? If you read in Lama Sopa's book, Lama Sopa has 3 assistants. Lama Sopa doesn't sleep. He teaches, does divinations, and helps people. The 3 assistants take turns. One sleeps, the other 2 helps. Then another one sleeps, another 2 helps. So there's always someone there 24 hours a day. Rinpoche's assistants all rest, but Rinpoche never sleeps. I read that recently. Why? Because he pushed himself. They didn't. Very simple. So if we don't do work in Dharma work or Lajama work or KH work, or we don't do the work because we're attached to sleep in ourselves, then please expect no respect. Please expect no love, no help, and anger, and also hating yourself. That's how it'll end up. Why? Because you run away from yourself. KH, Dharma work, the Lama's work, Lajang work is all just methods for us to reach the next level. We run away from the methods, how can we reach the next level? If we don't reach the next level, how can we be happy? Or command respect? Or get help? And get love? And we just hide every day. Every day is wasted. So we should expect unhappiness, disrespect, losing love, alienation, hiding, insecurity, fear of discovery, and deep regret that so many years have wasted. Deep regret. People will alienate us. People will lose respect for us. We'll lose friends and lose health. We'll be alone. We'll be very bitter, very unhappy. And on top of that, we will have deep regret for so many years we have wasted. And And you know what's the horrible thing? Is that we can never get the years back. Once it's gone, it is gone. So instead of looking back and becoming depressed, we should look back as an impetus or something to push us forward. Do we want to have the remaining years of our life attached to sleep, food, fun, laziness, doing nothing, entertainment, computers? Is that all we want to be attached to? Just like in Tsem Tulku's case, they had their sex parties. Well, we can have sex parties too, but our sex parties don't need to be sex. Our sex parties can be playing on the computer, going out, sleeping, watching TV. But we should be combined with dharma. We have to stop running away from ourselves. Stop inviting disrespect. You like people looking down on you? Do you like feeling you're useless? Do you like going with the crowd and feeling that people don't care about you, or you're nothing, or you're nobody? Do you like feeling how people look down on you? Do you like every year going further, one more year, you've accomplished nothing, done nothing? Do you enjoy all that? And then if you say, well, it's okay, I can put up with it, but the feeling that comes along with it, no one enjoys. And then how much you depend on other people? Do you give everything back, or you take too much? You take so much, you give nothing back. If you're someone that takes so much, you give nothing back, how can you expect happiness? The very reason you take more and give less is so that you can be happy. You want an advantage over others. But in the end, if you're not happy, is it an advantage? So we have to think, the very reason I do that is for happiness, is to gain some relief, some happiness. So if I do that and I'm not gaining happiness, why do that? Why be selfish? Why be lazy? Why not take responsibility? Why? The whole reason is to gain happiness. Every action we do is motivated to get happiness. Every action we do. Whether the action is done right or wrong, the motivation is self-happiness. The motivation is self-happiness. The whole reason we do actions for ourselves is to be happy. So if we're not getting happiness from being lazy, why be lazy? If we're not getting happiness from sleeping and attachment to sleep, why be sleepy all the time? If people are always scolding us and because we're not doing our job and we're irresponsible, why continue to be irresponsible? Why? I don't understand why. Because why? The reason we want to be happy, but we're not becoming happy. So why engage in action that gets you the opposite of what you want? Simply because it takes more effort to be the opposite? I think it takes more effort to hide from people's disrespect for you. I think it takes more respect to always be a loser. I think it takes more effort to always be with other people who are getting better and better and you're getting nowhere. I think it's more harder to hide from one's shame and embarrassment of accomplishing nothing. I think it's more effort to keep quiet and not fight back when people shout at you because you've hurt them again. I think it takes more effort than that. I think it's less effort to be responsible. I think it's less effort to work hard. I think it's less effort to push yourself and to accomplish something, to do something, to be committed. I think it's less effort than the opposite. Why? You have to cover, you have to escape, you have to run, you have to hide. That's a lot of effort. And it's quite tiresome. So if we keep hiding and running and avoiding, the result will be bitterness, anger, loneliness, alienation. Alienation means what? To be separated from others and people and to be alone. So either way, it's going to be an effort. Why not effort towards something that leads you to happiness? That's how I think of it. So what motivates me to work hard for others and do things for others? Because I'm basically a lazy person. I like to lay around, do nothing. My free time is lay around, do nothing, watch TV. What makes me do that is because either way it's going to be effort. If I end up nowhere, it's going to be a lot of effort to take care of myself, find money, and survive. It's better I put effort now. Much better. Either way it's going to be effort. When people look down on you, it's a lot of effort to avoid. When you get kicked out or people lose respect for you and they don't want to be around you, it's a lot of effort to sustain yourself and your emotions. Why? They don't want you. You've been rejected. That's a very heavy emotional expenditure or emotional toll. When you're older, and you have very little hair, and you've accomplished very little, it is a very heavy emotional payment. When you've disappointed people around you again and again and again and again, and hurt them by your laziness, is a very heavy emotional toll. Why? Because eventually you lose them. Loneliness doesn't come from helping people. Loneliness comes from not helping people. Bitterness doesn't come from helping people. Bitterness comes from not helping people. Hating oneself doesn't come because you don't have knowledge, money, education, or status. Hating yourself comes from being selfish. That all makes a lot of sense. So when we think about what I've explained and we meditate on it, the reason we meditate for 1 hour or 45 minutes a day or half hour or we do our sadhana is so that 23 hours what I've spoken to you we can put into action. If you don't utilize the 23 hours a day, deep regrets, loneliness, sadness, unhappiness, fear, that's all that awaits us. Don't wait till the results hit you and then you do something. It can be too late. Think about all that I've said. Think the reason why we're here. Think the reason why we're alive. What we've accomplished, what we've not accomplished. What's our priority? Make it very simple. Do I want to still think about myself more than others? Do I want to still think about myself more than others? Think carefully. If you do, you know the results. If you don't, you know the results. Therefore, it is all in your hands. No God or Buddha or Dharma protector or any human can change your destiny but yourself. That's what Lord Buddha spoke. I am not a God. I am not a sage. And I can't control you or change you. But I can teach you the Dharma that I have realized. And if you practice what I have realized, you will become a fully awakened Buddha also. That's what our Lord Buddha taught us. He's more than a God. Much more. Because he teaches us what to do to become a God. To become a Buddha. So our choice is this. Be selfish, not take responsibility, push the burden onto others, and keep on doing things that benefit ourselves and not others, which equals unhappiness, bitterness, loneliness, alienation, and people hate us and we hate ourselves. Or effort, diligence, generosity, compassion, and that will equal to respect, care, social standing, mental development, strength, and a clear and deep sense of appreciation from others, and we loving ourselves. Hating ourselves is the biggest disease of 21st century. And that comes from the selfish mind that takes refuge in material world, materialism, material items to escape from our unhappiness. It's the biggest disease of the 21st century.